Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Allie and welcome to the top comment, where I read and react to insane internet chaos in the form of Reddit stories. So if you like this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe. It is totally free and it means a lot to me. Happy Sunday everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope everybody had a great weekend this weekend. We only had 2 stories on Thursday and I only have 1 bonus story for you at the end today. But if you have already watched Tuesday and Thursday's episode and you want to catch that bonus story, go ahead and use the timestamps down below. They are listed to make it easier on you. I know you guys enjoy that. I know when I watch a video, I enjoy skipping around like that as well. So today's episode is all about strange requests, awkward encounters, and people being totally delulu, which is not always the salulu. So let's get into it. Below before you start watching, and I want to know what the weirdest thing that somebody's asked you for is, like, ever in the history of your life. I will tell you mine, but you're gonna have to wait until the end of the episode, so stick around. The first story we're gonna read comes from r/AITAH, and it says, "Am I the a-hole for saying no to my housemate who asked us all not to shower or flush toilets after 10 p.m? My housemate is sensitive to sounds and has asked us all not to shower or flush the toilet after 10 p.m. My housemate moved into my family's home, which I am living in due to complicated reasons, including a lot of medical bills. There are 6 of us total, and she asked us all not to shower after 10 p.m. My dad, who owns the house, comes home from work at the hospital at 12 a.m. or later sometimes." I'm sorry, let me stop. Let me get this straight. This housemate, this random person, moved into your family's house that your dad bought, that your family owns, and is trying to demand that nobody shower or flush the toilet past 10 p.m. Crazy people. He tries to accommodate her by taking 30-second showers with the water pressure on basically a tiny drizzle, but I feel bad for him that he can't even take a proper shower after being in the hospital. I sometimes work until late at night to meet deadlines, and it's hard for me to sleep when I go to bed dirty. This rule/request she's trying to impose on all of us feels extremely frustrating and inconvenient, and we have tried to explain to her that we can try to accommodate her if we can, but that our schedules do not always allow for that to work. She keeps asking us not to shower after 10 p.m. and that if we do, we should tell her so that she can sleep outside in a tent or a van, which makes us all feel sort of guilty and uncomfortable. Not her guilt tripping you while she is literally living under your family's roof. She has no right to request this. You can go and buy a pair of headphones. You can sleep with your pillow over your head. You can just get over it too. I mean, that's always an option as well. And maybe try being a little grateful for the people that are housing your ass. The frustrating part is that she showers whenever she wants to, sometimes as late as 12:30 a.m. She can be very loud as well, using her electric toothbrush in the hallways, opening and closing the door to the bathroom half a dozen times within a short period of time before she goes to bed. I'm not sure why she does this. And sometimes she even talks and laughs very loudly at 12 a.m. or later to people on the phone. I basically told her that I can't guarantee that I can meet this request, and sometimes I need to take care of my hygiene needs past 10 p.m. I told her that our house has noises and that's just part of living with other people, assuming you aren't partying or anything, obviously. Am I the a-hole or is she being unreasonable? Why are you even on Reddit asking these people? Is this not glaringly obvious that you are not the asshole in this situation? You just sound like a pathological people pleaser, so maybe you should try growing a backbone for sure. I mean, I'm a little irritated at you that you're looking at this from the perspective of this just staying with you and she is telling you that you can't shower past 10 p.m. but yet she's sitting there and doing it herself. Sounds like a complete hypocrite who is not even following her own bullshit guidelines that she's trying to impose on you guys. This sounds like a roommate from hell. I think you should kick her out on the street and tell her, you know what, that van is nice. I'm sure it'll be nice and quiet out there. How dare she ask this of you? This is crazy. You and your family really need to all come together, and I'm sure between you and all 6 of your family members, there's one spinal cord between the 6 of you. You should come together and figure out where it is and put this in her place and tell her to eat dirt, kick rocks, Bye-bye, peace out. The top comment on this post says, not the a-hole, ask her to get headphones. 6 people not being able to do what they want in their own home for one person is crazy. OP responds to that and says, we have suggested she gets a noise machine, listen to an audiobook, get headphones, earplugs, etc. And she claims that none of those things work for her. She says she still hears noise regardless and then continues to request that we stop showering after 10 p.m. even when we tell her that this is very inconvenient to our schedule. This is crazy behavior. How can you act like this? Where do you find the audacity to be like this? I could never in my wildest dreams imagine like even running into somebody like this. And I've ran into some pretty entitled people before, but this is a whole new level of chaotic energy that is just, ugh, get this person out of your home. She sounds horrible. She sounds like she's just sucking up all of your energy and being a bitch on top of it. Where do you get off on this? Like, ugh. Humanity has lost it. I'm telling you guys. Whoever wrote the top comment says, if she's going way too far with it and not considering your problems, kick her out. Yeah, I would have kicked her out probably the 3rd time that she got irritated for me showering after 10 p.m. Like, you guys all sound like such pushovers. Don't people please to this extent. You can be a nice person without being a people pleaser. The next comment says, when I lived at home, my dad showered at 5 a.m. and it would wake me up every day. I never complained. I just bought earplugs. Yeah. It's 2025. You can order them on Amazon and have them shipped same day if you want to pay that fee. You can go to the convenience store. Even save a pair from your next flight that you go on. Ask the flight attendant for a couple of pairs and there you go. Problem solved. The last comment says, yes, yes, and yes. I agree with all of these. She thinks it's okay to get her shower late, but nobody else gets to? Nope. Petty me would be turning off the hot water every time she did this. Okay, actually, petty me would be doing it every time she did this. Dad needs to kick her out. No way in hell would I ever let someone dictate when I can shower or do anything in my own home, period. Don't let people boss you around in your own home that you pay for. If she has to sleep in a van or she has to go camping, then that is strictly her own problem. That's nobody else's problem that she's in that situation. I get that you guys are trying to be nice people and I think the gesture is extremely kind. However, you should stand up for yourself and you should set boundaries. Setting boundaries is an amazing, wonderful thing. I love that we are finally in an era of doing this collectively and I would love to see you guys jump on board with it too. So don't let people walk all over you. Go find a backbone and tell her to beat it. I almost forgot that this was an Am I the Asshole story. Clear as day. No, you're... Oh! I just lost a gem. Damn. No, you're not the asshole. Be so for real. Grow up. I love you. Get a backbone. Take this and boop. Tell her to be gone. The next story that we're going to read also comes from AITAH and it says, am I the a-hole for refusing to let my brother's fiance wear her late mother's wedding dress at my wedding? So I, a 28-year-old woman, am getting married in 2 months and I've planned every detail down to the last flower petal. It's my dream wedding and I've been saving and planning for years. Here's where things get tricky. My younger brother, a 26-year-old man, is engaged to his fiance, Emma, a 24-year-old woman, and she recently lost her mom in a tragic accident. Emma and I have always gotten along fine, but we're not super close. Anyway, her mom had a very beautiful, expensive wedding dress that Emma inherited, and it means a lot to her. A few days ago, Emma came to me in tears, asking if she could wear her late mom's wedding dress to my wedding as a guest. I was totally shocked because this felt off. Like, I totally understand she wants to honor her mom, but I just feel like a wedding dress at someone else's wedding is not the time or place, especially since she knows I have a very specific theme, color palette, and vibe for my big day. Yikes. I told her gently that I didn't think it was appropriate, and she started crying, saying it was the only way she felt her mom could be with her during a major family event. She said she'd never get to see her mom at her own wedding, and wearing the dress felt like a way to keep that connection. Then wear it to your own wedding, Emma. I felt for her, but I held firm that my wedding wasn't the right time or place for that. Well, now my brother is furious with me, saying I'm heartless and selfish, and a bunch of my family members have started to take sides. Some of them are saying Emma's request is deeply sentimental and that I'm being too rigid about wedding rules, while others agree that it's weird for a guest to wear a wedding dress at someone else's wedding. Emma hasn't spoken to me since, and my brother says they're considering not coming to the wedding at all unless I change my mind. Good, then don't come. My fiance is supportive of me, but I'm starting to feel guilty because I know this is tied tied to grief, and I don't want to be the bad guy. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let her wear her late mother's wedding dress to my wedding? Your wedding, your rules, your day, within reason, okay? Brides, don't take that as your hint to just go full on Bridezilla. I will put you on an episode. But I think if you don't want her to wear a wedding dress to your wedding, you're the one getting married. Why doesn't she just wear it to her wedding? If she really wants to, like, go try it on, go get it fitted, whatever you need to do, and then go to a professional photography studio and have pictures made. You don't have to wear it to somebody else's wedding. There's such pick-me energy. I don't like that vibe. I'm really sorry that she lost her mom. That's absolutely terrible. I feel so sorry for her. Oh my God, I cannot even imagine. I don't even want to think about it. But there are other ways for her to honor her mom at other times that are not at your wedding. You should have only had to say no once. No is a complete sentence. I'm sorry she's making you feel terrible about it too. That's even worse because I get that she's grieving, but this is just really inappropriate. And I'm sure, like, I'm sorry, but if she's a 24-year-old woman, I guarantee she knows wedding etiquette and wedding culture and knows that that ask is really bizarre. I mean, what an odd thing to ask somebody, and then what an odd thing to crash out over when they say no. And at the end of the day, if they still don't want to come, then okay, bye, don't come. That's their fault. That's their choice. Don't let it ruin your big day. You've worked way too hard on this. The top comment says, I don't understand why she doesn't want to wear it to her own wedding. Why would she wear it as a guest to someone else's wedding? Oh my gosh. That comment has 25,000 upvotes and the post itself only has 12,000. So obviously a lot of people are on the same page right now of why doesn't she just wear it to her own wedding? The next comment says, exactly my thoughts. OP, you're not the a-hole. It seems like Emma needs urgent therapy care. It seems like she's reacting that way because of trauma, but I can see you may not be the best person to address that. She should wear the dress in the most significant event where her mother won't be, her own wedding. 11,000 upvotes. The next comment says, exactly. Why would Emma's mother have even been invited to OP's wedding? And if she was, would she have worn a wedding dress there? Of course not. OP, you're not the a-hole. No one should wear a wedding dress to a wedding except the bride, unless the bride specifically asks you to or it's part of the theme. Brides have the right to ask for a lot on their wedding day, but there are certain things that they are not allowed to ask for, and that is don't cover your tattoos, don't color your hair a certain way. Like, those things either need to be left alone or don't have the person be a bridesmaid. Why would she want to wear the same dress that she's wearing to your wedding to potentially her own wedding? Because you know when that day comes around, she's probably going to want to wear the dress again. Do you really want all of your pictures like that? I mean, my social anxiety could never. Imagine everybody staring and pointing and talking about you, and then you are going to end up on Reddit because some guest is going to go on wedding shaming, and they're going to say, I saw a person wearing a wedding dress to the wedding that was not the bride. You are literally going to end up a viral story in the worst possible way. That's so cringy. Like, Emma, girl, go get some therapy, go get some help. Nobody's going to judge you for doing that. I think people would really applaud you for it. You don't need to be asking these ridiculous questions. This is not your day, girlfriend. Sit down. The next comment says, that's what I was thinking. I don't think it's super common for in-laws of a sibling to be invited to a wedding unless they are already close family friends. But if Emma wants some sort of reminder of her mother there, then is there not a piece of jewelry she could wear or failing to carry a small photo? Really, Emma is the only one who needs to know that her mother is with her in some way, and that can be accomplished with something small. Wearing the wedding dress just seems like performative grief rather than genuine. I completely agree. This is definitely stepping way too far into the crazy category for me. The next comment says, I mean, does she wear the dress to family reunions? Does her mother have no other clothes? Yeah, wear something small, girl. You could even wear a pair of your mom's socks if you wanted to. I'm sure those are still around. If you inherited a wedding dress, I'm hopeful for you that there is still more that you can go and obtain that's not a full-on wedding dress. If you really have to have the dress there, go get it fitted, and whatever leftover fabric they have, make some earrings out of, tie it around your wrist, make a cute little bracelet, add it into your hair accessories, like something very minimal and small that does not take away from the bride, that is still special to you. There are so many other options that we could get to before wearing the dress, and you just jumped right into wearing the dress, which is insane. The last comment says, you can honor your lost ones in a million different ways that don't put you into the spotlight. At my sister's wedding, me, her, and my mother all wore jewelry fashioned from a pearl necklace inherited from my grandma. What she's doing is putting on a show. That's exactly what I just said. You could easily find something else to do. Emma needs to go to therapy so she can feel better. OP, if she is absolutely going to refuse and not come to your wedding, again, girl, don't let it ruin it for you and your husband. You're going to look back and regret it. I don't know. I think honestly, your brother should dump her because she is showing her true crazy colors right now in front of everybody. And he seems to just be acting like it's nothing and taking her side. Big yikes. I'm so sorry for you. I hope things get better. Again, no, you're not the a-hole. You're good. Keep doing you. Keep holding firm boundaries. I'm proud of you for that. The next story that we're going to read is a two-parter, and it comes from AITAH as well. And it says, am I the a-hole for refusing to share my lottery winnings with my boyfriend's dog, even though I promised? So I, a 26-year-old woman, won a decent amount in the lottery, about $50,000. Before I won, my boyfriend, a 29-year-old man, and I would always joke about how if I ever hit it big, I'd split it 3 ways between me, him, and his dog Baxter. Baxter is a golden retriever and I love him, but I always thought it was just, a joke. Well, fast forward to me actually winning, and my boyfriend is now dead serious about wanting to give Baxter his share of the money. He insists I promise and that Baxter deserves $10,000 in a dog trust fund for future vet bills, toys, and whatever he needs. I told him that's ridiculous. Baxter is a dog and does not need a trust fund. Now, my boyfriend is calling me selfish and is saying I went back on my word. He says it's not about the dog, it's about me keeping promises, and that shows I don't take our relationship seriously. But seriously, over a dog? Here's where it gets weird. I actually did buy Baxter a pretty fancy dog bed and some expensive treats with part of my winnings, but my boyfriend is saying that doesn't count because it wasn't part of the official $10,000 I supposedly promised. He even brought up going to a lawyer to set up the dog trust fund to make it official. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. So, am I the a-hole for not giving a literal dog a chunk of my lottery winnings, even though I might have jokingly promised? Or is this whole thing just absurd? Now listen here, young lady, you better give that damn dog his money. Yeah, he does need a trust fund. What's he gonna do without it? What the f did we just read? Listen, I obviously love my dogs very much. They are spoiled princes and a princess for sure. Am I gonna give them $10,000 of my lottery winnings if I just won $50,000? Absolutely not. No, be so for real right now. And he's gonna go to a lawyer. You know what? You should have him go to the lawyer. You should tell him, honey, you go and do that. Maybe you should go see the lawyer with him just so that you can see the lawyer's reaction, because I'm so sure any reputable lawyer is gonna sit there and laugh hysterically at this dude for being crazy. Think a handshake holds up? First of all, it was a joke. Second of all, both parties aren't consenting to it. Third, it's your money. And fourth, dump his ass, girl. I love my dogs to death, but money is money. I mean, look at the economy that we're in. It's completely trashed. You should take that $50,000 and please tell me you didn't give your boyfriend any of this money. Please tell me that you just kept the entire amount for yourself, because this man is unhinged, for the streets, weirdo. No, you're not the a-hole. I can't believe he's successfully gaslighting you in this story. You had to come to Reddit. I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. This is the craziest thing I have ever read. So we're gonna see what the comments say. The top comment on this one said, I would not give anything to this motherfucker after that stupid manipulation he tried to pull to get more money from you. Girl, tell him and his dog to pound sand. I beg of you. Girl, you have to kick him out. You cannot keep this man with you. He's just trying to extort you for money in the name of his dog. What is he sitting there with Baxter and they're both just sitting there like this together with their big old puppy dog eyes saying, please give us the money. Please, we need $10,000 for future vet bills. Oh, I can't even imagine. This guy is a master manipulator. I love dogs, but what would you do if I gave you $10,000? Huh? What would you do? Want to speak it into the mic? Tell everybody? What would you do if you won $10,000? Huh? Lance says he would buy a bunch of cheese if he had $10,000. So definitely do not do that. You don't want stinky dog farts all night long. The next comment is from OP responding to this, and she says, right? It's wild to me that he thinks this is normal behavior. I never expected to be in a relationship where I'd have to defend myself against a dog trust fund. The f***. Honestly, I'm so pissed right now, and I'm seriously thinking about breaking up with him. I love Baxter, but I didn't sign up to be a doggy bank. Oof. Yikes, girl. Yeah, you have to dump him. You can't be with this man. The next comment says, yeah, money can do funny things to people. Keep all the money for yourself and dump this asshat, not the asshole. The last comment says, honestly, why would you even be giving your boyfriend a share? So you got to take all of the risks of gambling and he wants what? Just the reward? I think this has been a really valuable lesson for you about who your boyfriend is. Also, I just want to point out that your boyfriend is trying to argue that you keep your word on a joke handshake deal as if it's binding, but he wants to go to a lawyer to make sure it's official. Like, is this about saying that you need to have integrity and is about trust? Or is it about doing things through a lawyer and to the letter of the law? Seems like it's whatever is going to serve his interest best. Dude, take the $50K and run. Agreed. You need to dump him. I hope you do. And I'm sure we're going to find out because this story has an update with it. The update, well, I guess it's more of like a part 2, but it says, am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend after the dog trust fund argument? Part 2 of refusing to share my lottery winnings with his dog. So after thinking it over, I, a 26-year-old female, finally confronted my boyfriend, a 29-year-old man, about this whole absurd situation with the dog trust fund. I told him straight up that while I love Baxter, giving $10,000 to a dog is beyond ridiculous, and I can't believe it's turned into such a major issue in our relationship. His reaction? He doubled down. He kept going on about how it's not about the money, even though it's clearly all about the money, and that it is really about trust and me not keeping promises. He even said that I can't keep this promise, again, about a dog. How can he trust me to keep my word on bigger things? At that point, I just couldn't take it anymore. I told him that this whole situation has raised huge red flags and that after 2 years together, I can't believe he's acting like this. I told him flat out that we are ending our relationship because his priorities are completely out of whack. If he's this unreasonable over something so absurd, I can't imagine dealing with those more serious issues down the road. Good for you. Instead of reflecting on what I said, he got defensive and accused me of breaking trust. I'm honestly floored by how this has spiraled. I feel like this breakup was inevitable with how he's been acting. Am I the a-hole for ending a 2-year relationship over a dog trust fund, or is this just as insane as it feels? Yes, girly pop, this is just as insane and unhinged and delulu as it sounds. No, you're not the a-hole. I'm really glad you broke up with him. He seems like a crazy person. You really shouldn't care too much what he thinks about you because at the end of the day, is this somebody you really want in your corner? No. Is this somebody you're probably going to ever talk to again? Also no. You need to just be done, and you are. And I am proud of you. You did not deserve any of this. This is wildly unhinged. You need to tell him Delulu is not always the Salulu, okay? We don't need to be delusional and give money to our dogs. Our dogs wouldn't even know how to spend it. He just wants to extort you, and also he's sitting there and like being such a master manipulator and a gaslighter. Like, he's just disgusting. I'm sorry you had to encounter someone like him, but good for you for thinking ahead into the future because yeah, if he can't even handle this, how is he gonna handle real problems in the real world? Like, he's absolutely gaslighting you and trying to make you feel bad that you're not gonna give the money to the dog, even though you shouldn't give the money to the dog, and you didn't break trust. You didn't have any trust there. There was no promise. There was no agreement. There was no nothing. I'm so sure if I won the lottery, I would look at my dogs and say, yay, we're rich, but really it's me that's rich and they get to benefit from it. He has a lot of marbles for brains. I don't even think he has a single functioning brain cell. So good for you for getting out of it. The top comment on this one says, please tell me you didn't give him any of your winnings. Edit, OP says she did not give the boyfriend any money. Good for her. She deserves so much better. Congrats on the win as well. The next comment says, in the other post, she said she paid for a new dog bed and some accessories maybe, but he didn't count that amount and still wanted the full $10,000. The next comment says, lawsuit for 2/3 incoming. obviously. The next comment says, I ain't saying he's a gold digger. And the last comment on this one says, nah, he's a golden retriever. Wow, what a loser. Good for you for breaking up with him. No, you're not the a-hole, not in any regard. I'm glad you broke up with him. And hey, maybe you should go get a dog of your own if you really love him and you miss having him, because as somebody who has 3 dogs, they do make my life so much better. And maybe they would give you some company in this time away from him. And I hope the next person you date is not crazy. Oh, I told you I was going to tell you what the most unhinged thing somebody has ever asked me was. Not in person, thank God, if they could buy my used bathwater. And I thought that was so disgusting. It almost made me gag. They ended up getting blocked, and I'm pretty sure I also like reported them to Instagram, but that was definitely weird. And it also like came out of left field too. It was when I first restarted my public Instagram account, which is Spicy Ghostberry. If you guys want to go follow my personal account, I'll link it in the description below. But they literally sent me a DM asking if they could buy my dirty bathwater, and I was just so personally offended and so grossed out. And then I told one of my friends about it, and she's like, yeah, dog, there's a whole market for that. And I'm like, that's disgusting. I don't want to kink shame anybody, but at the same time, like, okay, sounds great. So, I don't know. I love you guys. The world's a crazy place out there. Story comes from r/AITH, and it says, am I the a-hole for refusing to give my sister my wedding dress after she ruined hers? Hi, everyone. First time posting here. I honestly don't even know if I'm in the wrong or not, so here goes nothing. I, a 27-year-old woman, got married 2 years ago. It was a pretty small wedding, but I saved up for months to get the dress of my dreams. I even had it customized with some lace from my late grandmother's veil. It was really meaningful to me. Fast forward to now, my younger sister, who's a 24-year-old woman, is getting married in June. She had her final dress fitting, and apparently while out celebrating afterwards, they went out drinking. She spilled wine all over her dress, and long story short, the dress is basically ruined, and the shop says there's not enough time to order a new one. She called me sobbing, and my mom got involved too. They asked if they could borrow my wedding dress. I hesitated because honestly, it's really sentimental to me. Plus, it's tailored exactly to my body, and my sister and I have very different body shapes, so it probably wouldn't fit without major alterations, which could mess it up permanently. I told them I'm really sorry, but I wasn't comfortable with lending it out. My mom then lost it on me and said I was punishing my sister for making a mistake and that I was being materialistic about a piece of clothing. My sister hasn't directly said anything nasty, but she's been pretty cold over text since then. Now I feel awful. I get that weddings are stressful, and I know she didn't ruin her dress on purpose, but at the same time, that dress means a lot to me, and I can't help but feel like I shouldn't have to just hand it over because of someone else's mistake. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole. She ruined her dress. Why would she go out drinking? Was she wearing it when she went out drinking, or was it just in the bag? Either way, like if you're gonna go and find your wedding dress, leave it at the shop, go out and have a good time, pick it up on a day where you're not doing anything. That's insane to me how she could just go out and ruin it the same day. I'm just picturing her wearing it out drinking with her friends and sitting there having a grand old little time, and then all of a sudden she just spills wine all over it. I mean, that is tragic, but these are the consequences of your action, girlfriend. Why would you go out in your wedding dress if it's not your wedding day? First of all, you're meant to wear that dress on your wedding day. You're not meant to wear it out drinking with friends casually after you pick the dress out. That's crazy. You don't have to share your dress with her, OP. I don't think you're the a-hole for saying no, you don't want it. Tailored to her body shape, it is going to completely ruin the dress, and it's going to take away from that sentimental value from you. If she wanted to have a nice dress, then she should have not worn it out drinking. That's so dumb. I mean, I get she's only 24 and her frontal cortex hasn't fully developed yet, but be serious right now. You can't go out drinking in your wedding dress after you get it. That's just dumb. That's bad behavior, and what did you think was gonna happen? I mean, anything could have happened to it going out drinking. You could have spilled food on it. You could have been splashed by a car going through a puddle. I mean, literally anything could have happened to it, and she should have kept it safe, and she didn't. So no, you're not the a-hole at all. Your mom sounds unhinged too for yelling yelling at you over it. I mean, that is your personal property and it's something sentimental to you. What is wrong with these people? I'm sorry you are dealing with both of their chaos at the same time. That sounds extremely stressful. The top comment on this one says, not the a-hole who goes out drinking in their wedding dress. This is not your problem. Make sure no one has access to your dress. Oh yeah, she could come and try to steal it from you if she has a house key or if she has like your garage code numbers or anything like that. I would definitely hide it and put it somewhere safe. The next comment says, lock the dress in a suitcase or something until after the wedding. That's a good idea. The next comment says, this is the time to look up prices for a storage unit. Really? The next one says, dry cleaners will even store it for you. Yeah, you have tons and tons of options. You need to get that dress out of your house and to somewhere safe immediately if both your mom and your sister are ganging up on you like this. The next comment says, great advice here, but if you do store it, do not tell anyone that you did or where you did. Take a picture of the receipt and toss the paper one so they can't find it and use it to retrieve your dress. If you can't get over feeling guilty, give your sister money towards another dress. You are not responsible for her mistakes. Don't think you owe her anything. Mom is quite the bully, isn't she? Yeah, your mom and your sister both sound like they suck and are completely delusional to ask you this. This is insane. You definitely should hide your dress, and I'm sorry, but I have read stories before where the dress has been stolen or soiled before the wedding as an act of revenge. I don't want that to happen to you, especially if it included part of your grandmother's veil and is so sentimental to you. You protect that with your life, okay, babe? The last comment says, seriously, not to be rude, but that seems like the absolute worst thing you could do after the final fitting. It should have been taken off, put in a garment bag, and sent home. If she had to go out drinking first, leave the garment bag in the car. Don't have it anywhere where it's going to get wine spilled on it. Where is the common sense? Your sister has all of one brain cell and she used it to make a terrible decision and ruined her own wedding dress and probably ruined her own wedding if there's not going to be enough time to get a new one in the exact same style. She's probably going to have to settle for something else. And again, that's the consequence of her action. You can't control other people. You are not the a-hole, my dear. This one comes from r/raised by narcissists. And it says, my parents sent out a welcome baby invite for our daughter with them as the hosts with their own picture. No mention of us, the actual parents. I'm done. So yeah, the title says it all, but here's the nightmare in full color. My husband and I found out that I was 7 months pregnant while traveling to India, my home country. Because it was such a late discovery, doctors strongly advised that we stay here until the baby is at least 3 months old for safety. Cool, fine. We settled into that idea, got adjusted, and then my parents decided to fly in to help. By help, I mean make everything harder while acting like saints. We have a 2-year-old, and right after we finally get her to sleep after a rough night, my mom thinks it's the perfect time to show up unannounced, loudly talking and shaking plastic toys in her face like we're all at a damn circus. When I say, hey, please don't do that, she just fell asleep, I get hit with the classic, you're too uptight. I raised 3 kids, remember? Ugh, hate that attitude. They constantly trample our boundaries. We told them we're trying to quarantine for the baby's first month, basic, reasonable safety measure. Meanwhile, they're out attending weddings that have more than 1,000 people at them, going on shopping sprees, trips with extended family, and now they're flying to Turkey. Oh, and regularly bringing random friends and relatives to our apartment without telling us, expecting to parade the baby around like she's a damn party favor. Strangers want to hold her like we're not in the middle of, postpartum recovery. But here's the kicker. They went ahead and planned a full-on 40-person welcome baby party without asking us. We only found out after they sent us the invitation, and guess what it says? Grandparents host a welcome party for their granddaughter, Jane, hosted by Bob and Liz, who are the grandparents. And then it includes a picture of them holding the baby like they are the proud parents themselves. No mention of us, the actual parents. No mention of our last name. No acknowledgement that we even exist. They basically presented our daughter like their child. When we asked them to at least include our last name, so it reads Jane Brown, they threw a fit. Their response? You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. Why does the last name matter so much? If it's such a big deal, we'll cancel the party. Like, what? They would rather cancel the entire thing than acknowledge my husband or respect that our daughter actually has a last name, one that's not theirs. My husband, who has always tried to stay neutral before, finally saw it clearly. He said he now fully understands why I've been talking about going low/no contact with them for years. This whole experience has been beyond creepy. I can't even describe the feeling of being completely erased from my own child's life by my own parents. Narcissists through and through. I'm so exhausted. exhausted. Has anyone else ever experienced this level of boundary trampling and identity theft from your narcissistic parents? Would you find this creepy? Yeah, I would definitely find that creepy. What the really? That's really weird. I'm just picturing the grandparents sitting there holding the baby in their arms. Oh, we're such proud parents. Yeah, maybe 30 years ago, now your kid is having a kid and you were the grandparents. At least acknowledge the person who's carrying the baby. Really? These people sound like grade A classic narcissists. You definitely deserve better. They should really just probably cancel that party. I mean, imagine 40 plus people coming over when you have a brand new baby. You just know that they're gonna do some shady, weird shit at that party in order to undermine the parents even further and trample all over said boundaries that they have already clearly set. So I think they should cancel it, but let's see what the commenters say. The top comment says, you need to let them cancel. It sounds like you have a life without them already. Let them be the ones to lower contact. Someone replies to the top comment and says, or just tell them the baby is unavailable that day. She already has plans. Whew, yikes. That's kind of a good one though. Tell them that she's already got plans, you know, being in diapers and exploring the world for the very first time ever. That's really crazy of them. I can't believe that there are people this unhinged out in the world, but Reddit knows. The next comment says, whoa, these are extreme narcissists. Y'all are honestly saints for dealing with both of them with such poise. The absolute disrespect to do all of that to someone they're supposed to cherish and love. Seriously, you need to cut these people off before they seriously harm the mental health of your children. These people are clearly so severely manipulative and self-centered that having them in your life serves absolutely no benefit to you. You, your partner, and your children deserve much better. I would honestly suggest no contact. Them pulling that stunt is not only ridiculously heinous, but also think about the things they may not be aware of. They are trying to introduce your newborn to potential strangers. If they are pulling stunts like this, I don't doubt for a second they are posting pictures of you and your children online without your consent. The danger of that alone would be fair enough, and it's right for no contact. Geez, I don't know what else to say, but I wish you the best and hope you have the strength to remove these horrible people from your life entirely. They do sound like awful people. They sound like the type of person that would post you and your child online without your consent. I didn't even think about that, but I am avidly against posting children online in any way, shape, or form, unless you have like a very private life and a very like private profile. Like, I don't think that you should be out there posting your children on IG Live or anything like that. But if you're gonna post pictures on like your Facebook where it's only your close friends and family that can see, that's different. Posting them out here on YouTube and Instagram and all the other social media platforms that people post their kids on is disgusting. I think it's absolutely horrible, and it should never, ever, ever be done because there are so many predators out there. You don't know who's lurking behind a computer screen. We're only having like worse and worse data leaks as time goes on. So you should dump them because they probably are doing crazy stuff like this. And then who knows what the next level is going to be with, you know, parents that act this way. I mean, this is definitely stepping into some dangerous, kind of scary territory. The next comment says, tell them to cancel the party then. I would go as far as telling them to cut the visit short and leave due to them disrespecting you, your space, and your wishes when it comes to your own children. Yup, it's time for them to go bye-bye. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They don't need to be in your life, and it already sounds like if you've been talking about going low and no contact with them for a while, obviously this is not the very first time that they have done something crazy, and you already know it's not going to be the last. So I hope that you're able to do whatever you feel is right for yourself and your husband and your family, because ultimately the choice is yours on what you do. The very last comment says, are you me? I could have written this. When our daughter was born, my mother-in-law made a social media post that literally said, well, it's finally official. I'm a grandma and X, Y, and Z is a grandpa. Baby H is born. No mention of either my husband or myself. Just me attitude coming from her. Then 5 days after her birth, they invited their friends to our house without asking and passed around my baby. No one even talked to me the whole time, and I felt reduced to utility. Being a people pleaser, I let this shit happen for years. We've been estranged for 4 years now. My only advice is do it sooner rather than later. Narcissistic parents leave a trail of destruction stretching generations to come. I'm very sorry for you people. I can't even imagine what it would be like to have terrible parents, because my parents are awesome, but I think you're making the right call by cutting them off. I'm sure your children will understand someday, especially with the way that like society is moving. Don't be a people pleaser. Kick them out. Stand firm on your boundaries. Standing firm on your boundaries when you start to implement them is going to feel like isolation, but you will eventually find the right people that really value you and love you and want to be around you and don't want to cross your boundaries. And once you have that circle, you're going to be so happy. Honestly, blood doesn't mean anything if you're blood related to someone and they're going to treat you like this. I think that you are well within your rights to protect yourself and protect your peace, girl. I can't even imagine how stressful it would be. Like once your kids get older and your mom and dad start saying, oh, we just want to babysit for the night. Immediately no. Imagine the anxiety that you're going to have if you let them do that because you're going to be worried the entire time. I just really feel for you and I hope that you're able to de-stress. I can't even imagine, like, you found out you're pregnant 7 months into it. Oh my God, that is nightmare fuel for me. That is so scary. And then being stuck in, I mean, I guess you're not technically in like a foreign country because that's your home country, but being somewhere away from your actual home like that is probably pretty stressful. And having a 2-year-old already, I mean, you definitely have your hands full. And the last thing you need is adults acting like little babies coming up in your space and disrespecting you. So I think if you want to go no contact with them, you have every right to. I always suggest therapy to people because therapy has really helped me and I feel like it can help you too. So maybe consider going to therapy, even just a couple of sessions, just to be able to, you know, have some validation that you are really doing the right thing and get that validation from strangers that, you know, don't come from Reddit. But who am I to say? I mean, I'm a stranger online giving you advice right now if you're out there watching. So I don't know. I really feel for you and I hope that things get better and I hope that you have a smooth delivery and that your baby is healthy and that you are healthy. And yeah, I just wish nothing but the best for you. And I'm sorry that this situation just absolutely sucks. But tell me in the comments below, have you ever had an awkward encounter like this with somebody who is just next level grade A entitled? It's really scary to think that there are people like this out in the world and they don't think there's anything wrong with them. I mean, try confronting a narcissist and see where that gets you. I can tell you from my personal experience, it gets you nowhere and you are better to just cut them off and send them out the door. Say bye-bye. All right, our final bonus story comes from r/AITAH and it says, am I the a-hole for buying myself something expensive right before my friend's wedding? One of my best friends is getting married next month and all of us were supposed to hold off on any big purchases until after because we had agreed to chip in for some surprise gifts and extra stuff for their honeymoon. I was totally on board when we talked about it months ago, but a few weeks back I ended up grabbing something for myself I had been wanting for a long time. Honestly, it only happened because I checked an old account that I had basically forgotten about and noticed there was more sitting in there than I remembered. Not sure when it added up, but I felt dumb not to finally use it, especially because it was just sitting there doing nothing. So I bought myself a brand new watch, nothing insane, but it was around $1,500 and I figured I would still have enough left to help with the wedding stuff too. It felt like a win after a rough year, and honestly at the time it made sense to me. Now another friend found out and is giving me grief about it, saying I broke the agreement and that it looks selfish. He is making it sound like I completely abandoned the original plan when in reality I still fully intend on putting my share towards the gifts. It just feels like they are acting like I spent their money on something which makes no sense to me. I get that the timing probably looks bad, but it was not like I went and blew it on everything and said I wasn't paying. I already told them I would cover my part no matter what. Was I actually wrong for doing this if I still plan on holding up my side of the deal? No, you're not wrong for this. This is crazy of your friends to ask you not to make any big purchases as if they control your own money that you're making by yourself at your own job. Immediately no. You need to get new friends, it sounds like. Oh, your friends sound like a bunch of jealous weirdos, honestly. I think you should find better friends. I think you should go and meet people who want to celebrate your success and celebrate your wins like this and not put you down and make you feel bad about it. Finding extra money is so cool, and the fact that you had enough to buy yourself something that you had wanted for a really long time after you had a shitty year. No, you're not the a-hole, and guess what? I'm the judge. I have the sparkly gavel, so what I say goes. The top comment on this one says, not the a-hole, you can spend your money however you want. Someone replies to the top comment and says, this is the only right answer here. That it is. If there's anybody in these comments clowning around saying that this person is the a-hole, you need to go and be friends with this group of friends because you all are crazy and you clearly all deserve each other. The next comment says, this wedding culture is wild. Where I'm from, you pay for it yourself. You don't expect your friends to have to chip in. If anyone other than my parents offered me anything other than a regular wedding present, I would be wondering what the scam was. The next comment says, not the a-hole. Sounds like your friend is jealous or something. I can't imagine my friends telling me to hold off on any big purchases because I had agreed to contribute towards some gifts and honeymoon extras for friends. Yeah, it's really nice that you're pitching in. I think that's super sweet. And if that's like something that you guys all agreed on, then that's awesome. But it sounds like they are acting like this money is their money and that you went and robbed them blind and spent it, which is not what happened. You could have gone and bought a house or paid off your student loan or even paid off your medical debt, and they probably wouldn't have batted an eye, but because you did something nice for yourself, they have to throw a fit over it. Sugar Bear, these don't seem like your friends. These seem like awful, disingenuous people who don't deserve you or your time. It's nice of you to pitch in for your friends, but at the end of the day, it's your money. You can do whatever in the hell you want with it. Nobody's here to dictate it. You're not a child. You're a grown-ass man. You can absolutely spend your money the way you want to. Not the a-hole. Excuse me? Your friends are dictating to you about what you spend on yourself? No. Your money is your money. If it works for you and is within your budget, then why shouldn't you treat yourself? Does your friend think that he has dibs on your entire bank account? Not selfish at all. I completely agree. Your friends sound very unhinged. They sound very jealous. It sounds like they need to get their shit together and learn how to be happy for somebody and celebrate somebody else's wins. The last comment says, not the a-hole, but I think you have weird friends. I completely agree. You are absolutely not the a-hole, my dear. I'm sorry that your friends are treating you this way. I hope that you are able to make new ones in the future. I wonder if there's going to be an update from OP on this. I'm curious to know like what the friends whose wedding is coming up, the ones who are getting married, are they in on it too? Or maybe this is just a surprise between the friend group. I mean, like I said, I think it's really nice that you guys are pitching in to help out your friends, but not if it's going to cross boundaries like this and encroach on the territory of telling you what to do with your own money. That's just insane. All right, you guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you on Tuesday. Bye.